Well, it appears I missed the beginning of a fascinating conversation. Why would little Jake be in danger? This doesn't concern you. Well, the sudden rash of stranglings in this town are very much my business, Officer Spencer. Do you have reason to believe that the man who killed Emily would go after your son? I was warning Jason to stay away from Elizabeth. Still beating your head against that brick wall, huh? Yeah, that's something I do on a regular basis. Especially now that Anthony Zacchara killed Emily. She wouldn't have been on his radar if she hadn't been Jason's sister. Doesn't that make you feel at least a little bit responsible on some level? No, of course not. Right? No, your little sister was murdered, and you haven't done a thing to help the investigation. Maybe you're immune to it. Just one more innocent casualty, right?
Lucky, I need your help. Someone just tried to kill Maxim. Let's go. Move!
Why would someone want to kill Maxie? Unless, of course, she witnessed something incriminating during the night of the ball. Well, you gotta give it to him. Nicholas knows how to throw one hell of a party. Of course, your sister's dead, but it doesn't seem to trouble you much at all.
I want my turn.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry, the formidable Miss Miller will be along, I'm sure, eventually. But in the meantime, near-death experiences make you think, don't they? Well, that is if you're capable. Although my perspective on a few things has certainly changed since that night. Sonny's blood literally flows through my veins now. My brother. My long-detested brother. Saved my life. And my father was the catalyst. I don't know, maybe it was Kate. Either way, he asked. First time in his life he actually showed that he cared. Not that I'm looking for any kind of warm, fuzzy family reunion anytime soon, but the one thing that hasn't changed for me, Jason, is the absolute contempt that I hold you in with the way you trashed Elizabeth's life. You played on her infatuation with you. You took advantage of her vulnerability during the breakup of her marriage, not because you were serious, but because you wanted to satisfy your own selfish needs. You are a shallow, heartless bastard, and I think Lucky is absolutely right to want you away from Elizabeth and her kids. Because the fact of the matter is, Jason, wherever you go, death and destruction always follow.
This is the statement you gave on the night of Emily's death. I'd like to go over.
We got nothing to add to that.
I'm hoping you'll think of something that possibly escaped your attention on the night in question, being understandably in shock and all.
Is Diane on her way?
Probably, but I'd like to take a stab at this anyway. Starting to appear less likely that Anthony Zacchara killed your sister, which means whoever murdered Emily and possibly Letitia Juarez is still at large. Now, you're obviously a trained observer. You were first on both scenes. Did you see anything to indicate another suspect? Any signature you might have recognized that might point the finger at someone that we haven't considered?
Unless you are planning on arresting my client, I have come to take him home.
Just asking a few questions.
Oh, yeah? Well, you'll pardon my skepticism, but this department has a well-established history of harassing Mr. Morgan anytime you can't solve a case.
Mr. Morgan's rights have not been violated. But Emily had rights too. And if her brother knows anything that can help us catch her killer, he needs to speak up. The phone cord. Now, the MO is virtually identical to that of Letitia, except that Maxie's sister, Georgie, walked in before Maxie died. Now, I'm asking you again in the presence of your attorney. Do you have any idea what Letitia, Emily, Carly, and Maxie have in common?
This is getting old. You're gonna try this once too often and get your head blown off.
Wouldn't have to keep coming back if you told me what you know about the murders.
I didn't know anything the first 100 times you asked. Still don't.
Look, I don't know if you're covering for somebody, but if you are, it needs to stop because the killer struck again.
Somebody dead?
She would be if her sister hadn't come home.
Anybody I know?
Maxie Jones. The attack on Maxie mirrors the attacks on Letitia, Emily, and Carly.
Is Maxie alright?
I just know that she's alive. And so far, you're the only person who had a look at the attacker.
I already told you and the cops. When I came through the entryway of Windermere, Carly was already on the ground. The guy was running away. Saw him from behind. He was wearing all black. That's all I know.
Tall, short, bald, thin, heavyset, something here?
About my height, medium build, brownish hair.
Sorry, am I interrupting mob business?
What are you doing walking in my house?
I'm taking you in for questioning.
About?
About the assault on Maxie Jones.